council are present. Mr. Charbonneau is joining us via Google Meet. And Stacy Terrian is filling in for James Johnson as clerk treasurer this evening, and Laura Dogan as city manager. The next item is to approve the minutes of September 19th. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the minutes of 19 September 2022.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
So moved.
Mr. Charbonneau seconded. Motion made by Mr. Wilson, seconded by Mr. Charbonneau. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Mike Damaris, here with us this evening to make their presentation. Just a little history. This policy was instituted back in 2010, December. It was a policy that the council at the time felt was a way of possibly attracting new businesses and retaining existing businesses. Mr. Wilson was on the council at the time. I think we're the only two that are on the council at the time when it was implemented. It's been used a few times, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rick Isabel. Oh, it's Dave. Dave gonna? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, how would you like me to present it?
You could just
Stand?
stand. Yeah, that'd be okay.
Well, thank you. Again, I'm Dave Snedeker. I'm Director of the Northeastern Vermont Development Association, but also a member of the Northeast Kingdom Development Corporation, along with Mr. Isabel and 4 of the members from around the region. As of Tuesday of last week, NEK-TV was able to purchase and close on the sale of the Bogger building. We bought it from Michael Goldberg, who was the receiver, and bought it for a price of $915,000. The building's been empty and empty and unused for a number of years, including being vandalized multiple times. So we really don't have the ability to rent the facility out now, so we're hoping to make the repairs and tenant fit up, and then we would then lease the building to Mike Damaris and his business Track Incorporated, which they're currently based in Newport Center. So understanding that the city had the stabilization policy in place, we thought it might be good to try and utilize that until we can get the building rentable again. So, and I presented a memo to the city manager, and which she shared with you, I think. And I took the liberty of going through the policy and presented a scoring sheet as well, so just to hopefully help you along.
Based upon the scoring sheet, they more than meet the criteria. They definitely meet the criteria for the 5-year stabilization based upon the scoring, from what I've seen. According to your memo, you've got just over $2 million budgeted for renovation of the existing structure.
Yes.
And according to the memo, it says 22 jobs will be created and retained, with a total of 80 jobs expected by year 5. And I believe you meet all the, you still would have to go for what, minor Act 250? Only because the property's been in Act 250, I believe, right?
Yeah, in my discussion with Kirsten Salting, who's our Act 250 district coordinator, she said the board would likely treat it as a minor application because it was industrial and it will be industrial again.
Right. Council members, any questions or comments?
The building's really just about vandalized to the point where it's just kind of a shell, so it really requires a lot of renovation.
And in the basement level, it's a lot of mold because the building's been unheated and there's no heating system anymore, so we have to replace that entire piece. And then probably some structural supports for the high ceiling portion of the building to support Mike's equipment. Yeah.
That doesn't include our investments in lifts and special air ventilation, exhaust removal systems, wash bays. That's all in addition to the renovation budget.
So you guys have the basic bones of the structure, and you've got the special.
Then we do the fit out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is for what you presented earlier, the green technology aspect.
That's the evolution of the project. We have to first move in and get our business transferred to there, and then the growth would come from there. there and contracting out to other related companies that would subcontract to us.
To me, it sounds like a win-win. We're retaining jobs, creating jobs,
As opposed to an empty
as
building.
opposed to an empty building that's
Sounds
been
good to
empty
me.
for, thought we'd never get the receiver to move on it. No, you thought-
We already see the need for a security system up there, so.
Yeah, my understanding, all the copper pipes were kind of
Mhm.
disappeared. And so, other than that, any questions from, and this would take effect,
We're current through this year with the transfer, so I guess the next tax year.
the next tax year, so it'd actually be,
People?
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're looking at it like basically an established building, business as opposed to somebody just starting from
Yes, we
scratch,
have,
ground up.
We have 25 employees,
Yeah.
12 of which are at Newport Center. They would be
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
And the remainder out of state, so they wouldn't come here. But then the growth would be in this, we'll make this our headquarters rather than some other location.
So there's, I guess, there's a track record of success with your company, and it's not like a.
No pun intended, but Track Incorporated is around since 1976.
Yeah.
And then the predecessor here was around since the late 80s, so.
That gives me some confidence knowing that there's already a track record of success with the businesses opposed to a complete
TRAK
new,
versus TRAC.
as opposed to a complete startup, from, something that was just brand new with no history or experience. So I think it's a good, if you want to look at it, the risk level's pretty low for doing tax stabilization, I think, that's my opinion.
And just to review, it's only on the municipal taxes.
Right.
And basically, the first year they pay 10%, and it goes up increments until it's 100% by year 6. So, any other questions or comments? Then I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
A motion is made by Mr. Vashon to grant tax stabilization to the Northeast Kingdom Development Corporation. I gotta get these acronyms. It would be for a 5-year tax stabilization. So is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wilson, made by Mr. Vashon. Any discussion? Mr. Charbonneau, did you have any questions or comments?
No, but I may have to abstain because my in-laws owned this business before Mr. Tavares.
Not really, they own the predecessor of it, so tracking's never been related to Bill Cook.
I don't see conflict.
I don't see a conflict at all.
No.
I still think they're receiving payments from it.
Didn't hear what Kevin said?
Still receiving payments?
For buying Cook's equipment, yes, we still have 8 years of payments to Cook's equipment, but that's not track equipment.
It's not tracked. Okay. All right, so a motion's made and was seconded. Any other discussion? Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
That would be me.
Okay. Okay, we have one abstention. Very good.
Mr. Mayor, so who eats the difference, or does nobody either? Is the city losing money by giving the tax, I'm sorry, I'm.
Basically, the current assessed value as of April 1st next year, the tax rate will be based upon their assessed value, but they will only have to pay 10%. So I'll give an example. Say the taxes were 5,000, that's just throwing out a number.
Yeah.
So they would only have to pay 500, because it's 10%. And so it increments up, and so that's how that works.
And Mr. Mayor, so this is clear in my head, that's to, the intent is to, give an incentive for businesses to move to Newport.
That was the whole goal of this policy back in 2000. Basically, it was started in 2009. I worked on it with the I worked on it with the former city manager and a business owner in town to come up with this policy. It was based upon my conversation at that time with the mayor of Barry, and we kind of took their policy, because he gave it to me, and we just modified it for Newport and what would work best. And so, yes, that was the goal. It's been used, I think, 4 times in the past, or three
I
times.
know of 3.
Three times, revision, military, we had the people who were gonna expand at Teddy Bear, but then that didn't work out, and then,
The pizza place.
the pizza
It
place,
closed after about 4 years.
yeah, and so,
What was it, the Hot Rod Pizza?
it might have been
Yeah,
Hot Rod.
yeah, right.
Over by the old
Yeah.
Napa
Right.
store.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been used a whole lot,
Yep.
but, anything that we can do, because I mean, we don't have a large pool of money to give money out alone. This is one way of enticing businesses to either look at Newport or stay in the area. That's how we look at it.
So, Mr. Mayor, so do the city taxpayers eat what they're not paying, or
Well, it gets spread out, basically. It gets spread out.
does that mean a high tax bill for everybody else?
No.
Not really,
Not really?
no.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, if they,
It's only the municipal portion.
it's only the municipal portion, it's not the education portion. And if you look at it, say they start improvements right now, well, if you think about it, April 1st of next year, when they set the grand list, it may be a higher value. So the value's gonna go up every year as they do improvements in the building.
So the property will be reassessed every year?
Well, it
No.
wouldn't get reassessed every year, but if they do all these improvements, there would be improvement on the value, depending on that, and so. But I look at it as the main thing is it's keeping 25 jobs here and has the
Right.
potential of growth, and especially in the green technology, which is the buzzword that you hear around, not only in Vermont, but around the country, and having that type of employment.
Okay, and Mr. Mayor, it may be out of order, but could, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name, Mike.
Damaris.
Could you, I'm sorry?
Damaris.
Demias, could you ask him to explain what they're gonna do there, or is that out of order?
Sure.
No, you can go right ahead.
Stand up.
Doesn't matter, either way.
So basically, our business has grown 500% over the last 10 years, and we expect to continue growing. We import vehicles from Switzerland, France, and Italy, as well as those that are manufactured in Oregon. Our manufacturers don't have the capacity to supply what the market is demanding, so we'll transfer some of their overseas production to here. We'll start making more assemblies of those vehicles that we now import, and then we're gonna add, hopefully, an electric version of the machines that we make in that facility, as well as take on manufacturing of complementary products from outside suppliers. So we do snow grooming, but we're talking to a guy that makes snow blowers to do final assembly of very large machines. So take on more assembly for other manufacturers, as well as do importing and distribution of Canadian products here. So Canadian companies that buy a lot of US products would ship here, and then we would on-ship to Canada, and then they would ship us their finished products, and we would ship out, as well as doing that for spare parts too.
Okay, do you have, Mr. Mayor, am I asking me, do you have a card that you can give me?
Business card?
Yes, yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions then? I guess I have one, these are, the equipment you sell, are they also used not just for grooming, but power companies? to-
Yeah, it's a big portion of our business is the power companies, so wind sites, Sheffield and Lowell have equipment like ours, Gorham, in Quebec, GE, several companies there, so a lot of power companies, gas line maintenance, power line maintenance, New York State Power and Gas,
So,
New York State Electric, they use those machines too, so.
right, that's what I'm just, so it's not just snow grooming.
No, it's
Quite
transport,
expansive.
off-road transportation and for equipment and people. Hopefully, more municipal stuff in the future too.
Good.
So I'm sorry, just so it's clear, so do you manufacture stuff here, or do you just assemble parts here, or I guess I'm still not clear in my head?
So right now, we're an importer, redistributor, so we sell to dealers, and we do a little bit of manufacturing, but the idea is we don't have space where we are in Newport Center. So we're gonna be 5 times bigger where we are, we'll be able to do more manufacturing and assembly.
So you're manufacturing the entire equipment here?
We'll do final assembly, so buy components from several different suppliers, put them together and do some of the manufacturing basic from ourselves, but we're not gonna have room in that facility to do all the manufacturing. We'll do assembly and some light manufacturing. It's not gonna be a smokestack steel factory.
Okay.
It'll be an assembly facility.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anything else? Then, thank you for coming and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and members of the council. Thank you very much.
working with us. That's it.
Thank you for considering Newport to come to.
We're staying in Newport.
Stay. Okay. Moving on, the next item is to approve the proclamation for Childhood Cancer Awareness Week. The council received a copy. Any questions? It's pretty straightforward. And this would be running from the week of October 23rd to the 29th.
Does this require us to do anything, or we just say it's childhood?
It's just a
cancer awareness?
proclamation. A lot of places you just issue proclamations.
We can always put something on a marquee, just to recognize it.
Any other questions? Then I guess we would have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Vachon. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Charbonneau. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. So let me put the date 3rd.
Yeah, take that. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, new business. Did you have anything via your office?
No.
Mr. Wilson?
None.
I don't have any. Any?
No, thank you.
Mr. Charbonneau, any new business?
None for me.
Okay. Laura, anything?
Just wanted to let you know that Rural Edge was originally gonna present tonight about their Four Founders Circle. And I spoke to them today. They're gonna be coming to the next city council meeting to give an update on what they're calling Newport Crossing. And that is a compilation of the convent, 329 Main Street, and a building in Newport Center. And Mr. Shattuck let me know today that last week they received confirmation that they'll be receiving a $9 million grant to be able to support these projects. So they'll be on the next agenda. Very nice.
That's a good project. Okay, any other new business?
Not for me, thank you.
Okay. Any old business? Mr. Wilson? I don't have any old business. Well, just, I guess, compliments to the rec department for working with the downtown group and the chamber. The Chili Fest was a success. I figured probably 300 to 400 people came downtown, and
Beautiful weather.
I know at the library, we probably gave out over 4 gallons of chili in the little samples. And
Nice.
so it worked out well for all the folks. And that was the one nice day amongst the 10 days of rain. And
And,
so,
Can I just dovetail on yours and compliment the, we were very excited about the ribbon cutting. And we were very excited to acknowledge the Public Works Department and Tom Bernier, who, Tom was on vacation that week, as you know, so he wasn't able to be there. But certainly wanted to acknowledge his effort, poured his heart and soul into that, so it would be something beautiful that everyone could be proud of. So I just wanted to mention that since you brought that up. It was a beautiful day.
it was.
Thank you.
You don't have any other old business? Any old business?
No.
Mr. Basher?
Mine was just the same chili fest and the ribbon cutting, perfect day, it's fantastic.
Good.
Any old business, Mr. Charbonneau?
No.
Laura, any old business?
Okay.
No? Okay. The next regularly scheduled city council meeting will be Monday, October 17th, here in the council room. But before that, there will be the final public hearing on the municipal plan. I almost said other plan, municipal plan. It'll be the final public hearing, and that night the council will either vote to accept or have other things. I know the planning commission did go back and rewrite the page that was in question.
Yeah, the version is on our website. It's on each calendar for the planning commission meeting, and it's on each calendar for the city council meeting, so it's evident. You can
But
find
that will be
it.
the final public hearing at that time.
Far as I know.
Granted, if there's no other changes.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, we need a motion to adjourn at, I can't read the clock from here, 6:50.